Hi guys, and welcome back to another Premier League prediction video. Round 3 here. In round 2, we got one score correct, and it was Man City absolutely demolishing Bournemouth 4-0. Hoping to get some more scores correct here, let's get into my predictions. And we start off with Spurs taking on Wolves. Now Spurs, a good start, beating Southampton 4-1, then drawing 2-2 with Chelsea. Yes, they were a tad fortunate because some of the decisions in that game were poor. Chelsea deserved to win, but one thing we know about Antonio Conte's sides is that they don't give up, they dig deep, and they get results. So that was a very good point at Stamford Bridge for Spurs. Wolves, on the other hand, not started so well, losing 2-1 against Leeds, then drawing 0-0 with Fulham in a game where Mitrovic had a penalty saved. So they could be on 0. They're on 1 point so far. They need points because they haven't started well, but I can't see any for them here. Spurs, I think, have a big advantage here. One thing we know about Wolves, they don't concede too many goals. Spurs also don't concede too many. So I'm going to go for a low scoring Spurs win 1-0. Palace take on Villa now. And Palace, they have had a difficult start. Arsenal, then Liverpool. They got a point against Liverpool. Very, very good point there for them. Villa, they lost their first game against Bournemouth. Terrible start. Then they beat Everton 2-1. This is an interesting game. I think it could be quite tight, but I like the look of Palace this season. This is where we get to see where they are because they've had some tough fixtures to start off with, and I think they're going to win this one. Palace to win 2-1. Next up, it's Everton versus Nottingham Forest. Everton, not the greatest to start. No points, lost to Chelsea, lost to Villa. Nottingham Forest, they lost their first one to Newcastle, but then they beat West Ham 1-0. Brilliant result. And they really dug deep in that game. You sort of saw what this Forest side are going to be about this season. Digging deep, defending, relying on a little bit of luck as well. You know, they gave away a penalty, it was saved. West Ham hit the bar a couple of times, and the post. But they got the result in the end. They started the game very well, they defended well. So this Forest side I think will be good this season. I think they'll survive. They've just splashed out even more money, over 40 million on Morgan Gibbs-White from Wolves. Very expensive, but they're spending a lot of money. They're really going for it, and fair play to them. For this game, I'm going to back the away side. I think Forest, they're going to build on that win. Everton low on confidence, and I'm going to go Forest to win 2-1. Fulham up against Brentford. Two sides that were in the Championship not so long back. And this is really looking like an interesting game because both sides have started very well. Fulham, 2 points, a draw against Liverpool, a draw against Wolves. There's some good results for a team that have just came up. And these sort of results will help them in their fight against relegation. They take on a Brentford side that drew their first game against Leicester, good point, and then battered Man United 4-0 last weekend. A lot of the focus was on Man United being so poor. I don't think enough credit's been given to Brentford. They did a fantastic job. They got them on the counter-attack. I mean, that fourth goal, I believe it was, and Burmo scoring. How quick they got the ball up the pitch to score that goal was brilliant. They were good from set pieces. Brentford, they look like a real solid side, and a lot of people had them to get relegated at the start of the season. Personally, I didn't see it, and I think if they can continue putting in performances like they have so far, they'll be fine this season. Now this game, I'm going to go for something exciting, and I think it's because Darwin Núñez got sent off, so I've had to take him out my FPL, and I replaced him with a striker from one of these teams. Which one do you think it is in the comments? Let me know. Mitrovic or Ivan Toney. But I'm going to go for goals because A lot of people have these players in their FPL, and I'm hoping they can do well. 2-2. Next up, Leicester take on Southampton. And one thing that I've seen with these two teams is goals. Now they're both on 1 point. Leicester have scored 4, conceded 6 in their 2 games, while Southampton have scored 3 and conceded 6. So plenty of goals between these two sides. Are they going to come together and produce a 0-0? Probably. But I'm going to back the fact that there's been a lot of goals in their games, and I think Leicester have more quality in their side. So I'm going to go Leicester to win 2-1. Bournemouth versus Arsenal next. And Bournemouth, they started well. They beat Villa 2-0 at home. Good, brilliant result. I don't think many people expected that. Then they had to play Man City. Nothing expected from them. They lost 4-0, but that was always going to be a loss. Arsenal won both games. One of only 2 teams to win their opening 2 games, which is quite a surprise that no one else is up there with them. But Arsenal, good start. Beat Palace, beat Leicester 4-2. And Gabriel Jesus in that game, 2 goals, 2 assists. He is loving life at the Emirates. Now this one's away for Arsenal. And at Bournemouth's first game, at home, winning. Maybe Bournemouth are going to rely on their home results a bit more than their away results this season. But I don't think that's going to matter. I can see Bournemouth getting a goal in this one from some sort of Arsenal mistake. But Arsenal, too much quality. Jesus to probably get a couple more goal involvements. Arsenal win 3-1. Up next, an interesting one on Sunday. Leeds versus Chelsea. And I say it's interesting because I think my result might shock you. Leeds started very well. 4 points. Should really be 6. They were 2-0 up against Southampton, but they let it slip and it ended 2-2. However, Rodrigo has had a brilliant start to the season. 3 goals out of Leeds' 4. Very strong from him. They're up against the Chelsea side that are also on 4 points. Beat Everton, and then they drew 2-2 with Spurs. And they were brilliant at home in that game against Spurs. But we know Chelsea at Stamford Bridge are a very good side. On the road, I'm not sure how good they're going to be. And I think this Leeds crowd can get behind the players. They can continue to play the way they are, which, they've been very good at the start of the season. Rodrigo can probably get a goal. And I'm going to go for a draw here. Maybe a bit out there. Chelsea could go and smash them. But I think it's going to end as a draw. 1-1. Up next, West Ham take on Brighton. And could we be seeing the fall of West Ham? Maybe back to, bottom half of the table. They've been up in the top half for a couple of seasons. They've been doing well. They've sort of made themselves known as like best of the rest, really. But is it starting to drop a bit? They lost the first game against Man City. Again, it's understandable. Majority of people lose to Man City, so it's a free hit. Then they lost to Forest, and although they did well in spells, they had a penalty, missed it, they hit the woodwork a few times. They seem to be lacking something. I'm not sure what it was, but Forest, a bit of spirit got them over the line. And West Ham, are they going to start to drop off? I know a lot of the fans are thinking that they've came to the end of a cycle, sort of, and that they're going to go back to bottom half of the table. Now, I'd love to see them still fighting up there. I want them to do well. I like it when teams that are not the big 6 break into the big 6. It's always good to see, just for the sake of competition, really. And, underdog stories like Leicester winning the league and stuff like that. I don't really know anyone who doesn't like it. Maybe Spurs fans, but yeah, I want to see them do well, and I hope they can continue. But with teams like Newcastle, Brighton, who they're playing against, then there's obviously Leicester. There are teams around that maybe could replace them as that best of the rest. I'm not sure. Maybe I'm reading into it too much. But 0 points from the first 2 games. Brighton, however, 4 points. beating Man United, drawing with Newcastle, some very good results. I'm really tempted to go for Brighton, but with this one being at the London Stadium, I feel like West Ham will be able to get some out of it, but I really do rate Brighton. I'm very excited to keep seeing them just surprise people. Graham Potter, brilliant coach, but for this one, I'm going to go down the middle, 1-1. Newcastle versus Man City. This could be a cracker. Now, Newcastle won their first game against Forest, then drew against Brighton, scored 2, conceded none so far, so very hard to break down. Man City scored 6, conceded none, won both. They're smashing it again, not really surprising, but this one could be interesting. Newcastle, we know that they've invested well, their defence looks a lot better now, and part of me is thinking that they are going to cause a few shocks this season in some of their results. Now, whether they can catch Man City napping, get there early at St James's Park with the crowd behind them, I'm not so sure, because Man City look very strong. But I think if Man City win this, there will only be one goal separating the two. I don't think they're going to breeze past them. Newcastle will put up a fight. Could be a draw, but I think I've just got to go with Man City. Something's telling me Newcastle will get a point, but I can't do it. Man City are inevitable. So I'm going to go City to win it, 2-1. And finally, Monday Night Football. It's going to be exciting to watch on Sky with Carragher and Neville. Man United take on Liverpool. And this has been a massive fixture over the years. It obviously still is, but it doesn't quite have that same feeling anymore. Man United really struggling, lost both, bottom of the table. They lost their first one 2-1 against Brighton and then 4-0 against Brentford. So they've started this season terribly. Team looks disjointed. Ronaldo wants to leave. There's something going on with every Man United player by the looks of it. No one looks happy. It's a worrying time to be a Man United fan. Could this be a relegation battle? Because Liverpool haven't started too well either. I'm obviously only joking. But 2 points, drawing against Fulham and then Crystal Palace. Liverpool haven't really found the gear that they had last year. Partly think that's down to Mane not being there, the guy who triggered the press. Everything sort of started with Mane, and now that that's gone, they seem to be lacking a bit. Darwin Núñez was very stupid in that Palace game, reacting to Anderson, getting sent off. It's just not... It wasn't good at all. He'll learn from it. I hope he does. I hope he, does well for them, but he needs to learn to just, Premier League defenders are going to do that to you. You've just got to get on with it. But Núñez now suspended. How are they going to line up? Because I'm pretty sure Firmino is injured as well. Who's going to play? Origi's left. Minamino's left. They've got Salah and Diaz on the wings. Who takes that striker position? There's probably someone obvious, but I can't think at the moment. But it's not going to be a usual Liverpool front three. I know that for sure. Now, these two haven't had the best starts. Obviously, Man U have been a lot worse. They could be in a relegation battle. Again, I feel like I'm joking, but give it about 5 games and I might not be. This has the feel of an easy Liverpool win, but I don't think they're going to blow them away like they did last season. I think they won 5-0 and 4-0 last season. I don't think it's going to be that. But again, I can't see Man United really doing much. I think if they get a goal, it will be the first, and then Liverpool will come back. But I'm going to go away side Liverpool to win it 2-0. So, those are my predictions for these upcoming Premier League fixtures. Let me know what your predictions are down in the comments. I'll stick a template in the description of all the fixtures, so use that and fill your scores in there. I'll comment back, obviously, if anyone does put their predictions, and we'll see how we get on. Make sure to hit the like button as well. Let's try and get to 10 likes for this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you're new. I want to push. I feel like my channel sort of slowed down a bit with subscribers. And I know about 50% of the people who have been watching the recent videos aren't subscribed. So, if you enjoy the content, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Hit the notification bell too so that you don't miss another Premier League video. I've been James, JC Football. Let's try and, share it with your friends. Let's try and get this channel really flying. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope your team does well.